Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of the Leadership Speak series. It's my pleasure to welcome my senior and colleague from Infosys, Gopal Devanahalli, to this episode of Leadership Speak series. Hello, Gopal.
Hi Ringo, good to meet you.
Thank you so much for finding the time to speak with us. And so, without further ado, I'd like you to give us a little bit of a background about how you have transgressed from technology services to education to where you are today leading the charge on an interesting mission.
I've done different things across the years, Ringo, and currently I'm part of the Manipal group. It is a group which is focused on healthcare, education, and health insurance. I'm currently based in New York, and I am the CEO of Manipal Education Americas. I think the most important thing of a leader is on talent. So initially, interestingly, as soon as I joined Kotak, I was managing a team which kind of grew over a period of time. It was a large team. But then when I joined Infosys, for the first 2-3 years, I was an individual contributor. So straight away from managing people, I became an individual contributor. Then I had a small team in sales. But what I realized there was to deliver to the client, it's not just about your direct reports. You got to work with several other people to deliver, to your client. And that experience is what I got there as to how do you bring people from different departments and organizations to work with you, to come together. We're living in an economy where it's people, different teams. You're going to work across. You'll probably work with people who are not even part of your organization. How do you get the best out of them? How do you influence them? Is something that I think I have learned over my career. So that's one very important thing. So I had to start developing that. Have a point of view about the industries that I was in. Look at different perspectives, be able to bring that into the conversation, and that was another key thing as to in leadership. You've got to you got to have a wider range of thoughts that you got to bring to the tables. As I got opportunities to lead independent P&Ls and businesses, that's when you realize that you need to obviously have a strategic planning thought process. You got to plan 3 years, 4 years and ahead, and you got to have a plan based on that. But at the same time, execution focus is critical because you got to execute on that plan on a daily basis. This is, I think, true of all large companies from my experience, that even in a large company, there are entrepreneurial, you need to have an entrepreneurial mindset to succeed. What I mean by that is even at Infosys, like you said, when we joined, it was $100 million, but it was growing so fast that we were launching new products, new markets, new services, and therefore you had to be entrepreneurial. First of all, the skill sets that were required was, quick decision-making ability, agility in the processes that you establish were critical because you had to, be able to switch things fast. You had to have the ability to try out things. Some will work, some will not work. And most importantly, Ringo, you need to have backup. Even in a large company, I think that was the point you were getting at. So you need to have a backup. If you're on your own, then the backup has to be financial. But if you're in a large company, you need to have someone who believes in that. My belief is that today's world, most industries are getting disrupted. So every company is needs to change what they do, whether it's the way they deliver services, products. So I think it is very important that they have leaders who have that entrepreneurial mindset. I think the biggest challenge was in different assignments I did was about growth in the market, right? So how do you grow in the market? Because if you don't grow, then it's going to be extremely difficult to have your backer will at some point in time lose interest, and so how do you grow? And whether it's B2B businesses or whether it's B2C businesses, that is very, very critical. And you have to, like I said, show growth to get more backing. So in a way, as a leader, you also have to be able to tell the story and be able to tell why this is the future is going to be brighter, or why that things are going to be different. So that storytelling is very, very critical as an entrepreneurial leader that you'll have to keep doing. I would say the other challenge that I faced was regulatory challenges. How do you therefore motivate your team is another big challenge, I feel, right? When it's a low growth situation, because it happens, even if you're doing well, you might still be in a low growth situation. How do you motivate your team? How do you keep them engaged? How do you so is also an important thing. Yeah, from my learning in corporate life over the years, the first thing for me has been you have to be client or consumer obsessed as a young leader. Everything else, in my view, should be based around the customer. The way you organize yourself, the way you're structured, in my view, has to be customer based, or consumer based, or client based. So that I feel is a big thing that I would advise young people. Ability to monetize that product or service, and that requires some great sales talent. So that's something that is critical, and that needs to be focused on, especially during the early stages of it. Final advice, I think, is you is that you need to enjoy what you're doing. Ultimately, that's a critical thing.
So thank you for your time. Have a great day, and we'll be in touch. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ringo. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank
Bye.
you, Gopal.
Like, share, and subscribe to the EL Forum channel. Click the link below to enjoy the full video.